Hello, and welcome to SBRE Soirée, a whole new program in the world of fountain pens where we elevate things to high.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get past soiree.
No, neither did I. We shall start again. Full composure. We are professionals.
This is our composure. What do you?
Yeah, that is true. We don't have much.
This is our baseline.
This is what we have. Okay, I shall start again. Now that you are free of lint.
I'm going to let you do your intro. Just go for it.
All right. Hello and welcome to
You're not going to make it.
No, I shall do my best. I shall try again. We can.
Look, I'm not even looking at you.
I know.
I'm doing my best not to.
At you.
You look at the camera.
Oh yes. Here's looking at you, kid.
This is what, the first time you've ever made a video?
I think so. Yes. I'm not very experienced. Please be gentle. Now. All right. Hello and welcome to Soirée. No, wait, the other way around. Damn it. I'll get it right. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to SBRE Soirée, a new highly cultural program in the fountain pen world where I interview interesting people from foresaid fountain pen world about all kinds of things not related to pens. After all, pens are rather boring, and we would much rather get to know the people behind all these interesting things. So, my very first guest is Mr. Eric Orozco, one of the two founders of Fountain Pen Geeks, who used to present Fountain Pen Radio, later Fountain Pen Television, who also used to do Geek of the Week, a format which I have gratuitously ripped off for these videos, and who is, of course, my very dear friend, who has in fact introduced me to many US customs, such as bottomless refills, which I did not know about the first time I went to the US. Now, Eric,
Yes,
very nice.
Dr. Brown, how are you, sir? Haven't seen you in forever.
I know. And we finally managed to get through the intro, so that is rather nice.
I got my part down perfect.
No, you were deadpan. It was, yes, I suffered. I had a lot of caffeine. Now, I thought that what we would do today is I shall ask you 10 questions, 10, which you can answer.
There's no foreplay? Aren't we going to chit-chat?
Oh, yes, we can do that. How are you today?
I have nothing to say to you.
Nice. Well, how about you explain to me this interesting painting behind you?
I see no painting behind. Oh,
the other side.
That is a oil painting of the title is Young Santa, and it is in my living room because it just is happy and fills me with joy, and that's why you should have a painting. That is
true.
Sometimes take it from me. That's why you should have a painting.
I agree. When the weather outside is frightful, then it's just, etc. Right?
The painting inside is delightful. Something like
For
that.
example. Right?
Now, since we're gonna talk about Young Santa here, why don't you tell me about these Christmas lights I see adorning your space? Is it Christmas time already?
There are no Christmas lights. Did you ingest mushrooms that were sort of no? And it's these Christmas lights are here because I thought it would lend a certain ambiance to this, as I said, highly cultural program.
Ambiance. Oh, all right, ambiance. Now you're gonna have to teach me how you pronounce the word SBRE. What did you say it was? Soirée, did you say?
SBRE Soirée.
Oh yes, I like that.
Yes, of course. Yeah, of course. I think
don't tell. Let's just have everybody think that's how you pronounce it. We don't have.
Yes, because otherwise, I suppose we could go the route, not route, but route of the Dutch pronunciation and turn this into SBRE Soirée, and then it would also rhyme with the soirée.
You have to make that face when you speak.
Yes.
Dutch?
Yeah, when you speak Dutch, we all like that.
Like you're gonna attack with your teeth or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I heard a rumor. I don't know how true it is, but I heard a rumor that you have some kind of questions for me, as if this is a Geek of the Week type thing.
Yes.
You are obviously bored because you have nothing to do in Canada,
Indeed.
So you dream up new things to do, and one of those things is to ask me questions, and I am apparently your guinea pig for this.
You are indeed. So I think that, of course, people may know you not just from Fountain Pen Geeks, but also from some of the Triple P, the Pen Pal parties that you and Aziza and I did, sometimes with other people. I remember that Roberto was there at some point. So we have done.
I don't know what a pen pal party is.
I know. It's.
I remember
yes,
pen powwows.
Yes, I remember that too. Thanks for reminding me of that. But so at some point that became. Let's move on. So I have for you 10 questions.
10 questions. Are these true or false?
That are not true or false, but you are of course hooked up to the polygraph. So we shall quickly see.
If I get all 10 questions correct, what do I win?
You get the Christmas lights. Now let's start.
Right.
With yes, and I get the painting. So here is the first question. Can you please describe yourself in 3 words?
3 words. Well,
yes, and for the record, for the audience that is so attentive and interested in this, Eric has not seen these questions beforehand, so I'm utterly surprising him with this. That's actually true.
And thank you for that time to think.
Yeah, I just bought you some time.
I don't know whether you want 3 nouns, 3 adjectives, or a 3-word sentence. Let's go with.
To be honest, I genuinely don't care. I just want to hear your answer.
Father, son, husband. Verbose. Succinct. I'm going to say witty, although that's, an opinion.
No, I think you are witty.
Well, thank you for your opinion.
Yes.
And a sentence. Weirder than you. There you go. You got 3 nouns, 3 adjectives, and a sentence. What more could you ask me?
Now, I don't know. Now, but I do know that this begs a follow-up question, namely, let's look at these first things: son, father, and husband.
No. I put them in order of importance.
Oh, well,
father, son, husband.
Well, that is exactly what my next question was. Is that order important to you?
Yes, I did that on purpose.
You did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know. I imagine that would be the same for. Although some people might say father, husband, son, but not in my case. Thank you very much.
No, how lovely, how lovely. Has being either of these 3 things really changed your life?
Either of these 3 things. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Every one of those 3 things has changed my life. Beginning with being someone's son.
Yeah, well, that is how
I wouldn't have had a life.
Yes.
And then the other 2 are grand adventures.
True.
But so is life, yes. All 3 of those things have changed my life, and I suppose that's why they came to mind when you asked the question. But then I said, does he want nouns? I don't know, because you were talking. I had a little time to think.
I know. I did that on purpose. I shall refrain from doing so as to give you less time for the next question. Yes. Which is a very lovely segue into question 2. And question 2 is, please finish this sentence. So for the record, the sentence will not be in Finnish. It is a command, as it were, an imperative.
You don't want translation into Finnish.
No, because I know that even though I know of at least 3 languages that you speak, I do not think Finnish is one of them.
You want me to complete the sentence that you're about to begin?
Indeed.
You will provide volume 1, and I will provide volume 2. Together they will be a match set. All right. Exactly.
And to be fair, we could have already been done by now. But so let's do this. Please complete this sentence. 2 frogs crossed the road at night, and I. Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
Well, I want to say something like stepped on the one less traveled by, but I don't know which of these frogs is less traveled by.
Well, it could be that one was a local frog and the other was not. So unfortunately, local frog has now snuffed it, and I think we can. I think that was a brilliant solution. We can continue with question 3. Question 3 may be a slightly more elaborate question, and it is as follows. If you could invite 3 people to have dinner with, alive or dead, the people, that is, not you.
At the dinner.
Yeah, yes. Who would you pick?
And I get no time to think about this. 3 people to have with whom I could dine.
Yes.
Alive or dead.
Yes, and of course I would be very interested to hear why.
So you don't want like me to say you and Aziza and Robert?
No, that is perfectly fine. Anyone, could be anyone. Just why would you pick these people?
Because Robert could cook, first of all.
Yes, professional chef.
Yes, and we have a good time every time we have dinner, don't we?
We do. Absolutely.
Those are some of the nicest, funnest, most enjoyable dinners in memory. So
I agree.
mean, I realize that's probably not the fantasy answer you wanted. You wanted some historical dead people who I like to talk to. But if I could have dinner tomorrow night with these 3 people, it would be you and Aziza and Robert, and that would be very fun. So you're just a plane ride away.
I understand Aziza. I'm not sure why you would pick me, but sure. But I like it, and it doesn't have to be interesting historical people. I just wonder who you would pick. Well, as I said, I'm interested in you.
You're on your way to being an interesting historical person, so I'm just getting you first.
I suppose at some point we all are interesting historical persons, and then we're dead. But
this is turning more verbose. Morose? Is that even a word? What's question number 4, Dr. Brown?
Let's continue with question number 4. What is your earliest memory of childhood?
Being stung by a yellow jacket, oddly enough. But I suppose it was such a traumatic event that I remember it to this day. I was on my tricycle, 3, maybe 4 years old, and something was buzzing about my head, and I was swatting it away, and it stung the palm of my hand. And that was my introduction to stinging insects, if a wasp is an insect. Oh, well, it was a yellow jacket, whatever species that is.
Those are unpleasant. Yes. All right. Well, yeah, that would make sense. I mean, those kinds of things make an impression, I think, especially when you are very young. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunate. All right. Let's continue.
I think the yellow jacket died, and yet I'm still here. So.
Yeah, that's true. It karma. Little bastard. You see, that's what happens. Yeah. You sting someone, that's what you get. You die. All right. Now, question 5. Which book has influenced your life the most?
One, just one.
Yes, just one.
Just one. I'm going to have to say The War of Art. Now, I didn't get it wrong. That is the real title, The War of Art. It is a book for creatives who wish to be artists and how they can survive the struggle to be artists. But it's also a handbook of how to live life. And that one I refer to often, at least in my own mind.
Okay. Could you give an example of something that you learned from that book?
It's a story in that book. I'm sure it's told elsewhere, but it says that when Columbus sailed off to explore and then came back and announced that the world was actually round, people just went on believing that the world was flat. But then they died, and the children grew up thinking the world was round, and that's how things change. One of the things I learned from the book.
No, that's nice.
I'm just waiting for people to die.
No, I was going to say there's a lot of death in this interview so far, so that's really lovely.
I don't know why.
And actually, the next question is, which one song must be played at your funeral? So we are really continuing the theme of death.
Not sure I want a funeral, but if a song has to be played to remember me by, Young at Heart, Frank Sinatra.
Young at Heart. Yes, what do you like about that song?
I think it's a good theme song for life. It's important to remain young at heart and not become set in your ways too much, and always be ready for adventure instead of creating ordeals. You know that about me.
Yes, I do know that about you, and that is one of the very interesting aspects of you, I think. I don't think I know many people who have been in as many interesting situations in different parts of the world doing different interesting things as you have. So I do think you actually embody that as a sort of philosophy of life, which is very interesting.
All part of the adventure. All part of the adventure. What is the difference, Dr. Brown? Oh, look, I have a question for you. What is the difference between an ordeal and an adventure?
A couple of letters. No, tell me.
Sure. Surely I've asked you this before.
Yes, I remember.
Thank you for letting me tell you the difference between an ordeal and an adventure is attitude.
Simply, yes, well, that would make sense.
And another word for attitude, of course, is perspective. You can change your perspective and see things a different way. And if you're trying to see things as a person who is young at heart, you'll have more adventure.
Yeah, I think that's and I think that's a very nice tie-in of those two things. Yeah. All right.
Once again, the book is not the art of war, but the war of art, undoubtedly out of print.
Right.
But perhaps findable if anyone's interested.
But perhaps the sequel, A City of Two Tales, is still available by the same author. Now, we continue on to question 7 out of 10. Remember, we are blazing through this.
Through this.
Question 7. Would you prefer light blue or blue light?
I would prefer light blue. Thank you.
Yes? Why would that be?
Because I like the color blue, and light blue is one of the blues that I do like. And blue light, I think if that's all I had, it would get boring. I like a full spectrum.
A nice spectrum, yes.
I think blue light would just make everything blue.
Yes, that is probably true. Yes. All right.
Or green.
Or green. Or red.
Perhaps red.
Yeah, who knows? Orange maybe even. Now, I have 3 more questions for you. This is another a matter of would you rather, so to speak.
Oh, would you rather? Yes, I would.
Would you rather?
Absolutely.
No, that's not an option. Would you rather speak every language in the world until the day you die, or be immortal?
I think I need to look at the clauses on that. I mean, what's my health situation of this immortality? Do I revert to a 24-year-old?
You will stay exactly the way you are at this point.
Ooh.
It will not deteriorate.
Now, see, immortal is a very, very long time.
It is.
A very, very long time.
Some would say it's a permanent condition.
Some might say that.
Some might say that.
I think I'd prefer to speak every language.
Yes?
Yes.
Which language would you like to suddenly speak most?
Suddenly speak, well, I'm working on French right now, so if you could just bestow that upon me right this instant, that would be lovely.
In French, yes. Because why French exactly?
Oh, I'm probably going to visit Paris again, and I'd like to be better at communicating.
Ah, yes. That would make sense. As usual, not everybody necessarily speaks English. And
No, however, well, in Paris, English is very common.
yes,
It hasn't always been that way, but this last trip, it was extremely easy to find English-speaking people. Not quite as nice, or as, you know, everyone speaks English in the Netherlands. Everybody speaks English in the Netherlands, which is amazing.
That is because nobody else speaks Dutch.
No.
But I think you may find some people who speak French in different parts of the world, but Dutch is the Netherlands Antilles in the Netherlands and Belgium, but that's, I think they like to think of it as Flemish.
Well, it used to also be New Amsterdam, which we now call what?
Not so New Amsterdam anymore.
It's now called New York.
Well, there you go.
But New York was New Amsterdam first, before England came in for it. That's, what do we have there? Brooklyn is a
Yes.
Dutch name, isn't it? Harlem
True.
is a Dutch name.
True.
So we could all be speaking Dutch right now.
We could be. Maybe that should be for the next episode. We'll do all of this in Dutch. All right. Now, the final two questions in what I will say is probably an award-winning interview are actually pen related, because I did think I thought we should have some pen stuff in it for the pen people.
It's your show, Dr. Brown. You design it any way you like.
It is my party. I will cry if I want to. So question 9 is, you can pick one pen. What would it be? You have to use it for the rest of your life because maybe you're immortal.
That's true.
An incurable condition.
I had my chance. Well, I tell you, of the pens I own right now, or any pen that...
Any pen in the world.
Any pen in the world.
Alive or dead.
Alive or dead. Oh, is there an Excalibur of pens? One that gives me, like, immortality or something?
No, you missed that chance. That's over now. But you can name it in every single language of the world now.
That's true. Right now, I'd choose the Petit Prince, the Montblanc Petit Prince 146 size. However, yes, that's what I would choose right now. You can interview me again in a couple of weeks, see if I've changed my mind. Because you know, I have a new pen coming, right?
Oh, I see.
You don't know that?
I didn't know. I wasn't informed.
Oh, yes. Yes, a new one is supposedly winging its way to me right now. It's the same size, though, 146. That is my preferred size. But I'm getting the Martelet, which is the hammered silver. So
those are nice pens.
My plan is to keep both the Petit Prince and the Martelet, but what happens to me is I'll have pens that are side by side, and if one falls by the wayside, I just don't pick it up enough because the other one is calling to me. I will part with pens, but I think I'll probably have to keep both of these.
Yes, well, that's how it is, and then we'll see. Indeed, we shall see half a year from now or a year from now.
For all I know, I'm not going to like the Martelet, but who knows?
Who knows? You may.
So to answer your question for right this minute, the Petit Prince.
And if it turns out, if you don't like the Martelet, you can always throw it out.
That's true.
It's easy, right? You have all these options in life.
Yes, isn't life an adventure?
Yes, it is, and convy. Now, here is the final pen question, and also the final question of the SBRE Soirée. Question 10 is, please describe your first experience having flex.
Are we talking about flex in a fountain pen nib or a yoga class? Okay.
Well, no, let's keep it to pens for everyone's comfort.
Let me think. My first experience with a flex was with a Waterman 52, and it was at the table of Susan Worth at the Los Angeles Pen Show. I don't remember the year, but that was my first pen show. And for those of you who may not know, Susan Worth sold pens at pen shows, but what was interesting about her table is that all the pens were inked so that you could actually write with them to see which one you liked. And I bought that pen too, as a matter of fact. And I think I bought it not just because of the flex, but because it was inked and I could write with it, and I fell in love with it there and took it home. So that was, is that what you wanted to know?
No, absolutely. So that was at least the first part of an answer to that question, I think. So that's a pretty interesting pen to start with, because that's not an inexpensive nodeless flex pen or something. But I suppose at that time nodeless was not around yet, because we're probably talking 1894. So I mean,
that's true.
And,
no, a Waterman 52 is probably one of the most, if not the most, affordable vintage flex pens you can buy even today. So it wasn't a break the bank type pen. But after I purchased it, I got it home and I realized how fun it was. So.
And do you what do you still have it?
I do not. I've graduated.
Ah, yes. Nice. Did you? What was it about the initial experience? Because you said you liked it, but do you remember what it was about the experience exactly that made you interested?
I thought it made my handwriting more interesting, and it did.
As flex writing can do.
When I was in school, third grade, we started to learn cursive, and they made us use fountain pen for that. Mrs. Walden made us use a fountain pen for that because she wanted the pen to keep moving on the paper. Because if you stop the pen, the paper was like blotter paper; it would just soak up all the ink. So that's what made us move our hand at a good clip, shall we say. But that was, I don't even know what kind of pen that was, but it certainly wasn't a flexi vintage pen. Something with a nail on it so that the kids wouldn't, I mean, we were third grade, we were going to ruin pens. So that Waterman that I got from Susan was the first time I realized I got to experience putting more pressure on a downstroke and what that does to your line variation. And it was beautiful.
Right. And now you have graduated to all sorts of Montblanc 146s, which probably all have rather, I'm
well, they're not
assuming, rather
flexible,
stiff nibs.
I have two flex vintage pens that I keep that are Swans because I prefer those nibs. But I didn't know that at the time. You have to go through a lot of pens and a lot of nibs until you can figure out what you like. I mean, at one time I think I had 300 pens. You know this. You went through a collection phase.
I was there.
Because you just try to get your hands on anything and everything you can get your hands on, and see what you like, and try it out, and try this, and try the other, and little by little, your likes and dislikes become known to you. It's like a discovery. So now I know what kind of flex nib I like, and it's in the Swan. And I know the size of the pen I like, and that's the 146. But I didn't know this at the first, in the beginning. Can't tell you how many different kinds of pens I had.
Yeah, some people call that flexperimenting. If it's
experimenting.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have I keep the Pelican M400 Tortoise because it has the it has the italic broad on it. So that all those times that I want to write Unchel for my invitations, which I never do, but someday I might, so I keep that pen.
I was going to say, I can imagine you do that on a weekly basis at least.
Oh, yeah. So there are some pens I keep, they're for special reasons. There are the pens I keep because I will actually pick them up and write with them when I need to jot down a note. And then there's the flexible nibs. And of course, I've got an entire two sets of parallels, because who can live without parallels? True.
Didn't you at some point also have a really nice visor fill?
I got a visor fill, I think it was at the Tilburg pen show, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But
I think Tilburg? You are right, yeah.
It was Tilburg, and it was like, it came in the original box with the original instructions in it, which was just amazing, Pristine. This pen was just, why am I even talking to you, Brown? I don't even know. I'm not sure how it happened. You were goofing around, as per usual, and you wanted to pull the instructions out of the box, like, I don't know, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. And as you did so, the instructions tore in half. And that was funny enough, but the look on your face of just horror, what have I done? When I didn't even care. But for a nanosecond, you were quite worried that you had ruined the world for me.
Well, I mean, you have to appreciate the moment that this is a vintage pen that has probably been, that belonged to someone's dad or granddad, has been in an attic for years in a box in pristine condition.
Until it met you.
Less than 10 seconds it with me, and it is destroyed irreparably. So, I mean, yeah, that there is that issue. But one lives and learns.
Well, one would hope.
One would hope.
That was fun. That was fun. Especially your face.
Yeah, I don't even think I can reproduce it, but I remember that was interesting.
You were not expecting that to happen.
I did not. I can honestly say I did not expect that to happen.
In your foolishness.
Yes, folly, as well. Well, I would say thank you so much for this, for being the guest on the very first SBRE Soirée. I have to say, if it was only half as good for you as it was for me, then it was magnificent, and I very much enjoyed it.
You don't even let me get lines in. You change the subject. Now it's too late. Go ahead. Yes, this was wonderful.
No,
this was fun.
How about I give you the opportunity? We'll pretend like nothing happened. Well,
I have to back up for humor. It's not very funny.
Then I think it was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have a cigarette. I don't know about you.
Nice, very good. So
this interview was so good. The neighbors are gonna have a cigarette.
It was amazing. Yes.
Well, we'll see.
Another one. Sorry, this reminds me of the one time that you were in Toronto. We were driving. You made some sort of.
I was supposed to make a left, but I couldn't make a left, so I made 3 right turns. And I said, "Did you see me do that?" And you said,
that was so smooth, and I said. That was so smooth that I feel slippery. Anyway, sorry, that was not as funny now as it was then, but you probably had to be there to understand it. Now, thank you very much for watching. Please give us your feedback about this video series. I endeavor to have guests.
Okay.
And that's pretty much all.
I'm not watching. I'm participating. And I'm talking over your... I'm doing this on purpose,
No, as you should. It would not be the same...
Because I forgot to tell you the 3 words that really describe me.
Oh, well, let's go back to question 1. We can just redo the whole thing. Go on.
A little shit. That's me. A little shit.
A little shit. Yeah, that's 3 words.
You're probably going to have to bleep that out or something, unless you're allowed to say shit on your channel. Is this going on your channel? What are you doing? Are you just going to archive this for the future? What?
No, to be honest, I was just going to bin it. It's not even recording, so... You're deliberately wasting your time, Eric. I mean, what else would I do? No. I think you are allowed to say that. Yes, I think you are.
Well, I did.
Exactly. Anyway, so now there's precedent.
I will let you now address your audience because I'm prepared for it.
Sure. Good. Well, my very dear audience, I hope this was interesting. As you can see, we have elevated the cultural level of the fountain pen world immensely into almost incomprehensible level. I do really appreciate your viewership. I hope this was interesting to you. I want to do this more often. If you think that Eric should return, then we can probably make that happen. I'll just pay him some more money and he'll be here again. And in the meanwhile, I also think that Eric and I should do some other stuff. I have some more ideas, but this is one thing I wanted to do. I hope this was useful, and we'll gladly see you later.
And if you like it, give it a thumbs up, because how else is Brown going to know whether you want him to do another one?
Yeah, that's true. Give it a like. Hit the thumbs up. By all means. Do it now. Bye.
Au revoir. Adios. Tschüss.